Hello everyone, it's Sal Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all can hear me nice and clearly, guys. I hope you're good. Thank you so much for joining me today on this Sunday morning. Of course, guys, sorry about the difference in backdrop today. I am out and about, unfortunately. But thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Really great to have you back. Of course, let me just write this tweet out real quickly. Of course, let me just write this out. Here we go. I gotta be more prepared than this. Right, so here we go. There we go. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I am Sal Warner. This is a Chatterbox, not Chatterbox, but Breaking Dawn, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone who's joined the show. Today I want to talk about I'm going to have a different spin on the show today. I'm going to talk about AC Milan and how we should be scouting certain players around Europe that have not broke through yet. I've mentioned a lot of times about various players in Europe that Manchester United need to be targeting. Man United need to be looking at in regards to getting value for the money and getting value for the amount of budget we have to spend. At the moment, we don't have a budget. Of course, we have a low budget, and to be honest with you, we're going to have to be penny pinching a little bit. Obviously, thanks to the inability to sell the club fully, of course, guys. But at the end of the day, what we need to do, we can use it in our advantage. We can get young players through. Of course, we can get young players in from various countries, of course. And obviously, Italy is one. It's one that I'm going to be talking about today. Now, in regards to scouting, and AC Milan is the topic for today. And I look at the AC Milan youth team, and I've been looking at a couple of players there that are going to be big players in the future, and it's something that I think that we should be looking at and we should be studying pretty intensively. If I'm being pretty honest with you guys, now look, you know what? It's not ideal. I want Man United to spend money. It's better if Man United spend money, but we're going to have to be clever as well. We have wasted over $1 billion in the last 10 years, of course, guys, which is obviously very, very sad in a way, because we have wasted. What we could have done with that money would have been great, but what I would say is that, we can change the picture, we can change the narrative, and we can bring in players that will fit this system. And today I'm going to be talking about AC Milan. Now, there's a few players at AC Milan, and I want you guys to listen to this, because I know that there are many other content creators who will copy and mention these names after I do, right? But I do travel, and I do watch youth football, and I do scout football, and I do basically my life, right? So at the end of the day, what I would say, there's a player, his name is Camardi, Francesco Camardi. There is another player called Matteo Liberali, of course, Bacuna as well. And these players play in the AC Milan youth team, Sia as well. These players play in the AC Milan youth team. Now, the AC Milan youth team are a bit like the class of 92, not on that extent, but they're basically coming through, and they're going to rebuild and revamp AC Milan back to the levels that they used to be, of course, guys. So it's very important that we look at these players, and before we start jumping and saying, before anyone else starts jumping and saying that we should sign this player, we should sign that player, we need to look at what's up and coming. The reason we are after Semedo and players of that nature from Bournemouth is because they found these players. They scouted these players. They found them, and basically now they can sell them for a profit, isn't it? So what Man United need to do is they need to stop the indirect, stop going indirect and go to the source. That's what they need to do at the end of the day. So I would say that we need to really get our gear in order and start looking at players from around the world. When you look at the AC Milan youth team, and I've been studying the AC Milan youth team. Obviously, I have a lot of connections in Italy. Of course, people know me, especially Napoli. But I've been looking at AC Milan recently, and I've been looking at the youth players in that squad, and I'm seeing a lot of quality. I'm seeing a lot of quality, and you guys, I would urge you to go out there and look and have a look, guys, and see like these players and look at these players and study these players. Francesco Camada, Matteo Liberali, Sia, Bacuna, these players, look at them and study them, and you will see great things coming from those players. Now, look, I don't want to make it all about just one team, but this is a little scouting report for you guys, and it's something that Man United need to look at, right? And if Man United were going to watch this channel, you know what I mean? If any representative were going to watch this channel, you know what I mean? I would urge them to look at these players, and I would urge them to go. And let's read some of your comments, guys. real quickly. Big up Sanjay, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Shah, what's going on? Good morning, Sal. I wonder who the new mod would be. Oh yeah, I need to do that. Shah, thank you so much for reminding me. I will do that today. I will do that today. I promise you. In Chatbox. I'll do it in Chatbox, guys. Absolutely. Good morning, Fan. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. This week, Luke Shaw is back on the grass. And breaking news, Luke Shaw has got a small setback. You know what I would say, guys. You know what, and anyone who says Luke Shaw is a rubbish player is doesn't know ball. Basically, Luke Shaw's a fantastic player. But what I would say is that we cannot keep these players. Like, we are not a hospital at the end of the day. We're a football club, you know. And Luke Shaw hasn't played nowhere near enough football over these last few years. He's actually missed 5 years of football, you know, which is unbelievable. It's unheard of. I know he had a serious injury back in 2014, wasn't it? So that is pretty bad, of course, and I feel for him for that. But it has been 11 years, it has been 12 years since he had that injury, and I think that maybe it's time, just maybe, it's time that we move on from that now. As good a player he is, as I respect him as a player, but I think that we cannot be carrying players anymore on 200 grand a week. We need to try and move them on. Well, how can we move them on? I don't think any club in their right mind would sign Luke Shaw, considering the injury record he's got. I would say that probably a loan with them paying his wages might be more ideal. If you ask me, it might be. But you know what? We have to wait until the summer, because at the end of the day, what is he on? 200 grand a week, something like that, around that much. It is too much, to be honest with you. We have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to be real, of course. Tyberg, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Morning, Sal. Nothing to do with us, but I would like to congratulate Goldbridge. Just watched the 10 years anniversary. Hats off to Mark. He created something special and deserves respect for it. Yes, Mark Goldbridge is an absolute don. If you ask me, I've been friends with him for how long now? Since about 2017. So basically eight years I've known Mark. And Mark's a top fella. He's a top guy. Of course, I was going to bring him over here to do a show. I was going to bring him in the UAE to do a show not long ago. But obviously, other commitments came up and we couldn't make it. But we're going to do it sometime anyway. We'll do a show over here, which will be absolutely fantastic. But I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's done a very good job, with the United Stand. When you look at other content creators for the likes of Saeed, Rants, Flex, all the United View, the Football Terrace, and most of that comes from Mark Goldbridge, what Mark Goldbridge done. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for him at the end of the day, because I know how hard it is to do this every single day, not only every single day, but twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. With me, I'm doing watch-alongs that I'm going to sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning, and waking up 5 a.m. in the morning, you know what I mean? So it isn't easy, and that's why I have a lot of respect for those people who do it, and they do it consistently, and they make themselves do it. Of course, I've been in and around podcasting and YouTube content for a very long time. I was in the music industry for 20 years, and I know all about this stuff, and I know how difficult it is to try and do something which isn't a normal job, so to speak. You know what I mean? I would say. Big up Tybo for that comment. Absolutely brilliant, of course. Absolutely. Let me just read this. Mac, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Apparently, we have 80 scouts. Sometimes I wonder what our scouts do. Are Ineos using these scouts or making our own scouting network? I don't think Ineos and Man United in general have been using scouts effectively over the last, 100 years. I don't think Man United have used scouts properly. I can find players with a click of a finger, and I can find the next best thing. If I can do it, why can't those guys do it? You don't even need 80 scouts. Guys, tell me, I should be working for Manchester United, right? At the end of the day, look, I found about 10 players, just by looking at one team. I looked at AC Milan, and I've learned about Francesco Camada, I've learned about Liberali, I've learned about Sia, I've learned about Pacune, all the Colombo, Komoto, there's lots of players at AC Milan, and because I'm looking at them, and AC Milan like a sleeping giant, right? And I looked at them and I thought, you know what? Why are they so? Why haven't they grown since many years now? But someone, I think I saw a highlight of Kamada, and I saw Kamada scoring a couple of goals, and I thought, this player's decent. And then I looked on the youth team and I thought, AC Milan have got a conveyor belt of young players that are coming through the system, and they're gonna, they're gonna be the next best thing, the next big thing, to be honest with you. And I am absolutely certain that many of those players I've mentioned are going to be at the top of the tree very, very soon. Guys, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. And guys, remember where you heard it first, okay? Because no one is mentioning these players. No one is mentioning Liberali. No one is mentioning Kamada. No one is mentioning Sia. No one is mentioning Bakune. No one is mentioning these players at the moment. So I would say to you, guys, have a look on YouTube, check it out, and let me know what you think at the end of the day. Thank you so much. Tyborg. Hopefully, no bees today, Sal. Your last show outdoors ended with a bee invade. Yes, I did get attacked by a swarm of hornets. I don't know why. I think it was my shirt. I think I looked like just a big, massive flower at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I think they were attacking me because of that. And to be honest with you, I haven't got that colour on me now, but I have had one. There is one today, but it's not too bad today. Thanks a lot, Tybo. Big up yourself. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today, of course, guys. It is a different location. I am out and about sometimes, guys, but I am working on new content. I'm working on interviews and stuff. I've got some great content coming up for you. Of course, I've already had some great people on the show already, but I've got some great people coming on the show next week, of course. Guys, I want to talk to you about Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo, of course, has been injured most of the season. But when Kobbie Mainoo was playing at the start of this season, I don't think Kobbie Mainoo was at his best. Some may argue that he played the Euros and he played too much football over the last year or so. But what I would say is this, right? I'm a sort of person that doesn't believe in. I believe in accountability. I believe in accountability. I believe we're in a generation now where we just want to throw excuses out there. Excuses. We don't take accountability for our own actions, and I think that is what I've been seeing on Twitter, on everywhere, about how Kobbie Mainoo. It's because of Ruben Amorim. It's because of Ten Hag got sacked. It's because of this. It's because of that. Excuses. Ruben, look, Mainoo is a great player, fantastic player. Otherwise, he wouldn't be playing for England, right? But to blame a sacking of the manager for his downturn in form, for me, is taking away the accountability. I come from a generation where we took accountability. Do you know what I mean? And didn't make excuses. I'm not saying Kobbie Mainoo is not going to be a great player. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a fantastic player. But what I am saying is that, if he's been playing well, if he's been playing badly, he needs to accept look in the mirror and accept that he hasn't been playing well. Now, some people have been telling me, we played as a number 10. We played in wrong positions and stuff like that. He played in the number 10 once, right? The rest of the time he's been playing in the number 8. And I believe if you cannot learn off a manager like Ruben Amorim, then who can you learn off? That guy is the master at coaching young players. And you know what? If he cannot learn off that, then you know what? He needs to look at himself at the end of the day, in my opinion. Stop making excuses for incompetence, and stop making excuses for downturn in performances. Because I'm hearing a lot of bad things about Mainoo at the moment in regards to the contract negotiations and stuff, regards of that. And on this show that I have been backing him from here to kingdom come. I backed him, right? And I've said it might not be true. It could be lies. It could be spin. Now, if it is true, right, then he needs to take a long, hard look at himself in regards to, his future. Because at the end of the day, he's not made it yet. He's a good player, a great player. This is why he's playing for England. But he's not made it yet. And he cannot be using Ruben Amorim as an excuse that sacking the manager. The tactics were different. This. Great players show up in every single tactic. It doesn't matter what formation you play. Great players turn up. They turn up at the end of the day. I remember Alex Ferguson playing Michael Carrick as a centre-back and Fletcher as a centre-back. Now, I'm not going to that extreme, but what I am saying is that they still performed. They went to Wolfsburg with Fletcher and Carrick in defence and won 3-1. Who were the champions? Well, who were Champions League football, Bundesliga at the end of the day. Shalom. But jokes aside, I hope he stays fit until the end of the season. He will be such an important player for us. Absolutely, Shah. Luke Shaw is a very important player for this season, if he can stay fit, of course. I do believe, I predict he won't. I'm sorry, guys, but I predict he'll get injured again. I do predict that. Unfortunately, I think I would even go as far as to say when he is fit, he is a world-class player. He's not just a good player, he's a world-class player. He's one of the top left-backs in the world. But when is he fit? How long is a piece of string? And if he stays fit for Man United, as you said, Shah, absolutely. He could play left-sided centre-back. He could play left-back, left wing-back. I think he will fit Ruben Amorim's system perfectly, in my opinion. I think he would. And if we can get him fit, it would just help Man United at the end of the day. Of course, we've got the problem of Aiden Heaven at the moment. Diego Leon's not coming to next season. Malasia's on loan, of course. So we need a left-back. Dorgu, of course, is a blessing in disguise. If we can have Shaw and we can have Dorgu, and it would only help the squad, wouldn't it? It will only help the team going forward. If we can have the bigger squad, we can have the better. Look, I'm not a big fan of Mason Mount. I'm not a big fan of Mason Mount, but I know that Mason Mount fit would help Manchester United at the end of the day. I would say, I mean, having Mason Mount fit is better than not having Mason Mount at the end of the day. What we do with him in the summer is a completely different story, in my opinion. I think like, we need to get rid of these players. I think I wouldn't trust Luke Shaw anymore. I mean, I think that Luke Shaw, longevity, it's not going to work. His body type and stuff like that, I just don't think he has what it takes to stay fit. I think he's made of cheese, you know what I mean? He's like cheese in the summer at the end of the day, and he just melts at the end of the day. And I just feel like he needs to move on and go on loan somewhere. Maybe they can cover his wages and stuff. And who knows what can happen in the future. But I just feel like these players, Tyron Malacia, Casemiro, Shaw, Mount, all that, I think need to leave the football club, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just read some of these. Shaw must just move on. I agree, fan. Look, this is nothing against Luke Shaw, fan. And, I would say this is that Luke Shaw, he's had his time at Man United. He's had his time. He's had enough games. I mean, he's missed 5 years of football. Can you believe that? 5 years of football on full pay. I mean, we had this problem with Phil Jones, didn't we? Phil Jones ended up having qualifying for a testimonial. You know what I mean? Can you believe it? And you imagine the great players that play for this club. Even Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't got a testimonial. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there are great players who play for this football club and are due testimonials. Luke Shaw is due a testimonial. Can you believe that? He can qualify for a testimonial. It's unbelievable. Then that testimonial, by the way, is when you stay at a football club 10 years, you get to have a testimonial at the football club, of course. Shah, watch out for any bees. Oh, Shah, mate. It is bee season, but I think I'm in a decent place at the moment. I think where I was at the moment last time, it was absolutely swarming with them, and I actually risking my life. I was actually risking my life talking to you guys. Absolutely. See what I do for you guys. See what I do. I risk my life. I will jump in a swarm of bees to talk to you live about Man United. What about that, guys? Absolutely. But it's a lot better now. It's a lot better now. Absolutely, a lot better now. Of course, absolutely. Irfan, the loyalty model United worked under during Sir Alex Ferguson's time, but it's a contributor to United's selling since it was an outdated model of modern football. Klopp and Pep were vicious when they came to the Premier. You have to be, definitely. You have to be ruthless in this game. And I would say that a big part of Man United's lack of success or lack of performances is to do with lack of accountability, lack of ruthlessness. And I just feel like if we had a full sale, that probably would have changed. If we had a full sale, a lot of those players would have left the football club. Their contracts would have been paid out, etc., etc. Nowadays, we got no choice. You know what I mean? We got Luke Shaw, who's on a 200 grand a week contract. If we wanted to cancel his contract, we're going to have to pay his contract off, and it costs Man United money. If we had Qatar, if we had an entity like that, we probably could have paid off their contracts easily. And it wouldn't have been no skin off our nose. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is at the moment, and we are where we are at the moment thanks to Ineos, of course. And players can sit down cushy. And I hope that we don't get any more injuries. I hope that Mason Mount comes back and stays fit. I hope so, because at the end of the day, I'm tired of these players. I am. I'll be honest with you, as a Man United fan, I come from a generation where players used to play with knocks, with hamstring injuries, with bruises, with strained legs, whatever you name it. They used to play with injuries. These days, they get a little scratch and it's like, I don't want to play. I can't play. I'm out for months. You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm seeing a lot of excuses. I'm seeing too many excuses. I'm seeing excuses for various players. You know what I mean? Like in life, right? You have to take accountability for your performances, for your actions, for who you are. Stop blaming people. Don't blame people. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Have I been good enough this season? I know my capabilities. I know I can work hard. I know I got talent, but am I doing enough for the football team? That's what I would say at the end of the day. Almac, are the AC Milan players you recommended in their first team or academy? They are academy players at the moment, but very, very soon, Almac, especially Kamada and Liberali, they are going to be in the first team, right? And what you're going to see is an upturn in AC Milan's performances. You're going to see an upturn in AC Milan's performances, and you're going to see the players I mentioned. Guys, I might be wrong, but you know what? You're going to see the players I mentioned, and I'm telling the scouts right now to go after these players before they break into the top team of first team football, because we're going to regret it. You're going to see one of them going to Man City, to a team like that, and then we're going to be like, oh, didn't Sal say something about that player? Didn't Sal say something about it? Do you know what I mean? And I would say that if they want me to, I would scout for them. Absolutely, definitely. Irfan, yeah, I get you. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, I get you, bro. Sal, are you worried about Mainoo because of the age of 90? Yeah, it's a very look, Shah. Look, you know what? It's a very pivotal time in Kobe Mainoo's career. If I can have a one-on-one with Kobe Mainoo, I would tell him, mate, you have not made it yet. I know you played for England. I know you've done your bit. I know in the first season you were fantastic, but you're only as good as your last game. And that's what I would say. At the moment, I don't think he has been good enough this season. And anyone who throws out excuses for them is just a snowflake. At the end of the day, I'm talking about you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Accountability is important, and say, if I want to succeed at Man United, if I want to succeed at the highest level, whatever club I play for, whether I play for Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, whatever team I play for, it is down to me. Not down to the manager, not down to anything. It's down to me to look after my own performances. If I'm not looking after my own performances, that's down to me. And I think accountability needs to be rife in football, because we are slowly dying with people looking at themselves in the mirror and blaming everyone else but themselves. I grew up not blaming anyone else but myself, even though it was even if it was someone else's fault. I was reluctant to blame other people for my downturn in fortune. That is not what you do. At the end of the day, I like Kobe Mainoo. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's brilliant. But you know what? I would say, as you said, Shah, it's a pivotal time. It's a very important time in his career. I would say that, and he needs to honestly start working hard and stop talking about contracts and get rid of all this noise around his name, because this noise around his name is not going to help anybody at the end of the day about contracts and about you should earn contracts based on your achievements, right? Based on if he challenges for the league, he qualifies Man United for the Champions League, he gets Man United into a Premier League challenge, my goodness me, yeah, go for it. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, we're 15th in the league. Anyone who wants a new contract can get out of here at the end of the day, because you know what? None of them have performed. Tyborg, my legend, what's going on? Shaw is an example of how not to do things at a football club. Great player, but never available. It doesn't matter how good he is. The Shaws and Martials wouldn't happen at a properly run football club. Absolutely, Tyborg. And what did Jose Mourinho say? There are some players who can play through injury, and there are some players who get a little knock and are out for months. Who were those players at the time? Martial, who's just left, and Luke Shaw. It was those players, wasn't it? You know, at the end of the day. And he's absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. I would say 100%. And that is exactly the problem with football today. And in particular, Manchester United. Exactly the problem with Man United is the fact that accountability, you know what I mean, and laziness and feigning injury, going on partying, going out to New York before a game and stuff like that. That's exactly why these players don't succeed. It's exactly that. And I'm seeing a lot of people, you know what I mean, backing these players, supporting these players, you know, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we need to face reality, and we need to face that, look, you know what, a properly run football club, a Real Madrid of this world, a Bayern Munich of this world, a PSG of this world, a Barcelona even of this world would not cope with this. They would not take this. They would not have this at the end of the day. I think Man United are the nicest, biggest club in the world. I think they're the nicest. And to be honest with you, we're the Red Devils. We act like the Red Care Bears at the end of the day. I'll be honest with you. Because you know what? We need to be more ruthless. We need to be more angry. We need to say, look, listen, mate, you're not playing. Get out of here at the end of the day. I don't care. What's that? Get out of it. You're going on loan. You're going on loan and you play over there. And that's what Man United should do. Bloody send him to bloody, you know, a league in a tough league in Eastern Europe or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what they should do. They should do to him and make him play. Big up, Tyborg, my friend. Big up, of course. UK Darren, big up. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up. Only concern is Mainoo. His pace. I don't want him to be sold. Is his pace? Yeah, I agree. UK Darren, but Darren, what do you think about this? Blindly backing players when they are not performing and stuff like that. Do you think that it is dangerous to just, because I'm seeing a lot of blame here. UK Darren, I'm seeing a lot of blame here in regards to Mainoo. I'm seeing people blaming Ruben Amorim for Mainoo. I mean, this is getting to the point where it's getting silly, isn't it? At the end of the day, Mainoo is Mainoo because Mainoo's not been playing well because Mainoo's not playing well. He needs to look at himself in the mirror. I love Mainoo, and people know that. You know that, Darren. You know what I'm like with the young players. You know that I support them and everything. But you know what? Accountability is everything. And I hope and I pray that this contract negotiation and all these contract rumours are not true because you know what? He hasn't made it yet. I know he's played for England. I know he's played for Man United. But that is a start, isn't it? He hasn't made it yet at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Rasta. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, of course. That's the first thing I do, Rasta. I usually hit the like button. Tybo's a legend, mate. You're a legend, bruv. You're a legend. Thank you so much for smashing the like, of course. So it's very important for the video, for the development of the video. Guys, don't forget I've got some fantastic stuff coming up, guys. Really great stuff coming up on this channel. You wouldn't believe what I got coming up. You wouldn't believe. In the summer, hopefully I'll get the biggest journalist in the world on this channel, guys. Already in talks, of course. I think Brighton are a club we could copy. Last summer, they bought in Wafer and Kadioglu. Yeah. I mean, guys, Almac, you remember, don't you, at the summer? Almac, you remember, don't you? You remember about Kadioglu in the summer? You were saying it, I was saying it, we were always saying it, weren't we? About Kadioglu and Man United saying. Luckily, we got Dorgu. Luckily, we got a good left back now. But Kadioglu, we were talking about him a long time. And perhaps, if we had Kadioglu, we would have done a lot better this season because we would have had a natural side left back and he could play left, right, everything. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, every year they find bargains in the market, and we keep saying there is no value. Absolutely, I'm back, and this is exactly what this show is about. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, like I've been talking about AC Milan, but I'm using AC Milan as an example of finding the next target quickly before they go to other clubs, and that is exactly what Bournemouth are doing. It's exactly what Ajax do. It's exactly what Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, Porto do. They do that as well. Why don't we do that before they go to other clubs and their price tag doubles, triples, quadruples? Why don't we go to the source first? Look at Quenda, right? Quenda gone to Chelsea for 70 million, right? How did Ruben Amorim find this player? How did he get this player? You know what I mean? That's what we need to look at. He's a great player, yeah, but where did he come from? How did they find him? How did they scout him? You know what I mean? That's what we need to look at. And I'm giving Man United, and I shouldn't be giving Man United some pointers of directions we should be going in, right? AC Milan, look at the youth team. Look at the youth teams over there and tell me, right? I'm going to say the names again. Kamada, Liberali, Sia, Akune. And there are more, right? They have a golden generation of players there. And we need to look at these players. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, Amat. Tyborg, I get you saying, but can't allow the ruthlessness sometimes for Pep. For Pep, it's to play the hard guy when he is a financial backing. That's true, Tyborg. I mean, at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola had one injury in Rodri and he collapsed. You know what I mean? Now, people look at the likes of Eric Ten Hag and whether people think Eric Ten Hag should have been sacked or not. He had 60-odd injuries. This season, Ruben Amorim's had endless injuries. Do you know what I mean? And we still got a chance to win the Europa League at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And there you go. You know what? Pep Guardiola has been incredibly fortunate. When people look at Barcelona, and guys, people think in their head that he built that Barcelona team with Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. He didn't. It was Frank Rijkaard. It was Frank Rijkaard who built that team, not Pep Guardiola. And then Pep Guardiola left and he went to Bayern Munich, didn't really set the world alight, won the league, granted, didn't win the Champions League. And then he's gone to Man City. So he's always gone to teams that have won things, you know what I mean, and have money. You know what I mean? Anyone can walk into Man City really and win things, you know what I mean, with that amount of money, that pool of money. Of course they can. But you know what? He's been incredibly fortunate to be in positions that made him look good, so to speak. They made him. I'm not saying he's overrated or anything like that. I think he's a great manager, but I do believe that he's incredibly overrated in regards to a lot of things. You know what I mean? And I would love to see him manage a team like Porto, for example, like Jose Mourinho did, and win him a Champions League. You know what I mean? Or Inter Milan and win him a treble. Do you know what I mean? Which Jose Mourinho did. That is a sign of a great manager, of course. Tyborg, Sal, the Kamada guy you were mentioning is the next Frankfurt Kamada. No, Camarda. Camarda. Kamada. Francesco Kamada. He's AC Milan, right? Camarda. And Liberali's Liberali. Liberali, Sia. Look at these players, my friend, and just look at the AC Milan youth team. Right, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these shows, especially during the summer, and I'm gonna be doing scouting reports. Okay, I'm gonna be scout. I might even do some videos. I might even travel. I might even go and I'll show you players that are, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I might do some content like that for the members and everything like that. Of course, I'm going to be traveling very soon, so I'm going to be visiting various football clubs and finding the next big thing. You know what I mean? And I think that is what we need to do as a football club. I mean, we're meant to be the best at everything. We're meant to be the best. We're meant to have the best scouts. We're meant to have everything. We spend so much time with this and stuff. And you know what? I would say that, you know, we're slacking. We're severely slacking in regards to that, you know? Big up Tyborg again. Big up Kenny. What's going on? Mainoo is definitely a fantastic, but if he wants a new contract, 50k a week, page up the week performance. I agree, Kenny. I think that we're getting into a mentality or a culture where, you know what, it's okay to be a failure. It's okay to play badly. You get rewarded for it. A bit like Luke Shaw, a bit like, you know, Mason Mount, and a bit like these kind of Phil Jones, you know what I mean, got offered contract after contract after contract to the point he had a testimonial at Man United. We need to stop doing this. This needs to stop. If Kobe Mainoo wants 180 grand a week, there's the door, mate. Go and find it. At the end of the day, if Man United want to be ruthless, they have to be ruthless. I wouldn't say that he shouldn't earn 100 grand. I think 100 grand is good. I think Euro earns 100 grand. He can get performance-based, achievement-based contract like that. Stipulations in the contract need to be addressed. That needs to be put into place, because at the moment, when you're not having stipulations, you get the power too much with the players. And I think that the power is way too much with the players, in my opinion, way too much. Rasta, we need to win the Europa League. That's why what the players need to focus on, not the outside nonsense. Absolutely, Rasta. It is all about achievements at the end of the day. Man United need that Europa League. Man United need to qualify for the Champions League, and that is the most important thing that we need to do. You know, all this other stuff can wait. You know what I mean? That can wait. Let's see what you do in the champion. You know, I know what it is. You know what I mean? I know what they're thinking. I know what these players think. They're thinking, you know what? Get my contract wrapped up. I'm safe for 5 years. That's what it is. You know, that's what they're doing at the moment. And I feel like they shouldn't be looking at contract right now. They say, right, Mainoo, go out there, win us the Europa League, get us into the Champions League, and then maybe, just maybe, we can offer you a great contract. That's what Man United should be doing at the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up SLD, what's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Lovely with you. Don't get attacked by bees again. Hopefully not. I'm in a different place today, but hopefully I don't get attacked by bees. There is one was floating around. I don't know why. I absolutely don't know. I started to think that maybe it's the streams. Maybe you know what I mean, some sort of signal it sends to them or something like that. Beef Bully, what's going on? Sal, how much did you spend summer, if you know, please? How much is there to spend? It depends, Beef Bully, who we remove. But don't be surprised, Beef Bully. And guys, you can listen, guys, right? You're going to laugh at me, right? But you know what? Let me tell you something. Don't be surprised if Man United spend 200 million. They'll spend 200 million. And you're going to be like, what? Where did they get the money from? Where did they get the money from? Man United will sell Anthony, Rashford, hopefully, fingers crossed. Luke Shaw might be gone as well. Casemiro, we're gone. Ericsson and Lindelof are leaving because of the contract situation. Of course, Malacia could be leaving the football club as well. And who knows who else? Onana might leave the football. Who knows? You know, Maguire, you know, and Man United will make money. Man United will spend around 200 million, in my opinion, people there. And that's my prediction. Don't hold me to it, but that is my prediction. Man United, and what I'm hearing in regards to everything. Man United, if everything works out to plan, will spend around 180 to 200 million. Absolutely. I just asked AGB about Man United, and the first point was to clear the debt and AI to get out. Big up, Shah. Big up, my friend. Big up. UK Darren, thank you so much, mate. You're absolutely spot on, bro. Absolutely spot on. You know what? Enough love for that. Because at the end of the day, I've been talking about this all morning, you know, on Twitter, on social media and stuff like that. If you cannot learn under a manager like Ruben Amorim, then football's not for you at the end of the day. Football's not for you. This guy has made endless amounts of young players. You know what I mean? Endless amounts of young players. He's created young players. If you cannot learn off him, I just don't think you're that guy. And people are trying to make excuses, blaming Ruben Amorim, etc., etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's madness. What I would say is absolute crazy, nuts. You know what I mean? At the end of it, blame the manager. Let's blame the manager. Unfortunately, I would say, Darren, that a lot of this support is not to do with football. They are sinister reasons that I won't get into at the moment. But people have their favourites for certain reasons, which are not related to football, which I don't like. I like to talk about everything in a football sense, not in a other sense, if you know what I mean. And to be honest with you, a lot of people support them because of that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, which I think is wrong, guys. Absolutely. Shah. The Mainoo wage rumour is coming out from the club to get fan base divide and turn him and sell him. Shah, I've been saying that for a very long time. Look, that is not 100%. I wouldn't say that's 100% Shah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is spin. If it is spin. But what we have to look at is what we see with our own eyes, Shah, right? We have to look at how has he performed when he has been playing. When he started this season, was he performing well? No, he wasn't. He wasn't performing nowhere near the level as he was performing in his first season. So what we need to look at is that why wasn't he performing? So that is when the question begs to answer. But I'm not going to jump on Kobe Mainoo about the contract situation because I know that it could be Spinios. It could be them planting a seed. As I've been saying, Shah, you've been watching the show, haven't you? At the end of the day, I've been saying they're planting the seed to create divide in the fan base. And that's exactly what I've been saying, spot on. But what I would say is that is not 100% either. We have to look at things in the balanced point of view. I don't deal with absolutes. I look at things from every single angle, and everything can be true, but it can also be not true. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what's going on with Kobe Mainoo? The question I would ask, and the biggest question I would ask, is how those rumors started, where they came from, why they came, why, and that's what I would say. If a player wants a new contract, what does it benefit him to have these rumors leak about him? So that is when we do get the rumours, of course, that it's Jim Ratcliffe, it's Ineos, it's the Glazers leaking this to top journalists so that when we do sell him, we're going to say, well, he's a mercenary. He wanted that much money. We had to get rid of him. We couldn't pay that much money. And it is a tool to divide the fan base. I absolutely agree, Shah. And only those who are clued on know that. But we also have to look at things from another point of view. Why isn't he performing well? Why, when he played this season, he wasn't performing well? Why is he injured for so long? What's going on with him? And stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And you start asking this question, and it's fair to ask the question as well. Do you know what I mean? Big up, GK. Big up, Reinders. Yep, Reinders, absolutely. Reinders is a player who plays for AC Milan and plays for Holland, if I'm not wrong as well. But I'm talking about the young players, my friend, the young players in the AC Milan team. Reinders is about 24, 25. I'm talking about the young players in the team of AC Milan, guys. Players you've never heard of course. Almac, do you rate Chris Rigg, or do you think we can get someone cheaper in Europe? Probably can. I rate Chris Rigg, Almac. I do. I rate Chris Rigg, of course. I think he's a very good player, but you're absolutely spot on. I do think that we could probably get the same amount of talent in Europe. The problem is that FFP and PSR is the problem. If Man United sign more British players, it helps their PSR. I know, and FFP. I mean, I know that's crazy as it sounds, but it does. So we're looking at Chris Rigg. Is he the sort of player that's going to elevate us? The biggest question, Mac, and I'll pose this one to you, right? If we sign the likes of Chris Rigg, right? If we sign Liam Delap, for example, and Chris Rigg and these type of players, is it going to improve Man United? When you look at Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal and Chelsea, they're signing players, right, that improve them, right? Is Chris Rigg and Liam Delap going to improve Manchester United? Do you think? At the end of the day, will it get us to the level that we want to go to? I guess that's the biggest question, isn't it, at the end of the day? Shah, And they compare Pep to Ferguson. I want to see him build a team at the top to bottom in the Scottish League or Portuguese. Absolutely. Ferguson is an absolute genius. Genius. The only unfortunate thing for me, and I think Roy Keane said it, when Man United won the treble, Man United didn't really move on. Man United should have spent then. And I know there's a lot of noise about Alex Ferguson. Oh, Alex Ferguson spent money. Alex Ferguson didn't spend money. He didn't. Not the amount he could have spent. And the money we accumulated organically, we could have spent a lot of money in backing this in Alex Ferguson. But Alex Ferguson always dealt with the minimum. He always dealt with the minimum, what he had. He might add one player or two players, but in as a whole, he always used to deal with the minimum what he had in regards to youth players and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I would say. And you know what, Alex Ferguson, Pep, you can't compare them. Slot, you know what I mean? All these managers who get overhyped, you cannot compare Alex Ferguson, because Alex Ferguson could take charge of any team, and build them into champions. He's proven it. He beat Real Madrid in a European final. I think that was Real Madrid's last European final defeat. You know what I mean? And that goes to show you what a great genius he was. He stopped the monopoly of Celtic and Rangers. Celtic and Rangers, of course, win the Scottish League every single year. He won the league with Aberdeen. You know what I mean? It's not only that, you know, when he came to Man United, you know, he brought in players that, you know what, look, were like, who? You know what I mean? And built them into that, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ronnie Johnson, Henning Berg, David May, Brian McClare. You know what I mean? Roy Keane, he turned Roy Keane into from a striker into a midfielder. Things like that. Do you know what I mean? Good manager. Like I bring in Arsene Wenger, for example. Arsene Wenger was just below Alex Ferguson, in my opinion. But Arsene Wenger turned Thierry Henry into a left winger and made him into the best striker, one of the best strikers of all time. And that is what great managers do. I don't think that Pep Guardiola has it in him to do that. I think Pep Guardiola has one way or the higher way. That's what I think at the end of the day, guys. Is there any free buys that you like? I like Jonathan David, Beef. I like Jonathan David. I think Jonathan David is an important player that is under the radar and highly underrated for me. I feel like, I don't know why no one has purchased him so far, but he is a free transfer in the summer, so Man United can get hold of him. Also, there are a number of other players that are out there. Musiala was available. He's obviously signed a contract, I believe, now. But him and I believe Frimpong could be a free transfer in 1 year's time. He would be someone I would love. But you know what, in regards to free transfers right now, in regards to the summer, I would like Jonathan David, someone like that. I don't think we can go wrong. If you get a free transfer like Jonathan David, great. Gomez will be great for Man United squad, but is he good enough? I mean, I'm a bit conflicted with that one. The Gomez, is he good enough? I think he's a little bit lightweight, in my opinion. But those type of players that can improve the squad. But Jonathan David is one that I would hold in high regard. I would love Jonathan David at Man United at the end of the day. Kenny, there'll be a lot of outgoings this summer. Yeah, there will be. I mean, at the end of the day, look, when you think about right now, already we're getting rid of the likes of Eriksen and Evans. It hasn't even started yet. Eriksen, Evans and Lindelof are going on a free. So at the end of the day, that's free there already, we can say. You know, then you're going to add Rashford and Anthony. That's 5. You know what I mean? If they go, hopefully they go. I wasn't happy with Anthony's comments over the media. I wasn't happy with that. I think that was disgusting, what he's talking about Manchester and sunshine and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Shah, I don't think we're prepared for the summer again, because we don't know whether we do well be in the Champions League, but not other clubs. I think what it is, I think we still do have a good summer, but the excuses will come raining in. The problem is there's certain players that we would get without, you know, if we were in Europe. But there's also certain footballers that we won't get if we're not in Europe. So we have to qualify for this Champions League, and then if we qualify for the Champions League, that's 80 million straight, isn't it? That's 80 million straight in the bank, and obviously, of course, added to the fact that you win the Europa League, which could be another 30 million. You know, there's obviously, if you qualify for the Europa League, it's going to be far better. But this is what I'm talking about. The biggest priority for Man United this season is to win that Europa League. Win that Europa League, then they got no excuses. Because we know if they don't win the Europa League, you know what the excuses are already. Ineos, we ain't in Europe. Oh, we're not in Europe, so we have to suffer. We're not in Europe, so we have to suffer. We have to take a hit. No. This is, you know it. You can read it already, of course, absolutely. Cyborg. I wish I have the surrounding sound. Right now, it seems like an asteroid is going to hit. As life is stopped here in Germany. Goodness me. It's not that sunny today, Tybo, where I am, to be fair. It's just a little bit cloudy. As you can see from my hair, it's been blowing around everywhere. Yeah, Europe is cold. I do miss the cold. I'll be honest with you. I do miss the cold. I do miss it. At the end of the day, I do miss the cold, and sometimes because I just got attacked by a bee there. You see that? I do miss the cold, and sometimes because sometimes the heat becomes too much over time. Do you know what I mean? It just becomes. You feel like, oh, I wouldn't mind visiting Germany. You know what I mean? A nice little small town with the snow and stuff. Sometimes you think like that. Do you know what I mean? But I can't complain. Of course, I can't complain. Absolutely not. Of course, I can't. Mikhail, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Easier to sell Mainoo. Most important thing, intensity, athleticism, and are more injured than game ready. Do you think, Mikhail, this is what I've been talking about all morning in regards to that? We'll have to wait and see what happens this season, don't we? We have to wait and see what develops with Kobe Mainoo. I'm a big fan of Kobe Mainoo. I'm a big fan of that. But you know what? You're only as good as your last game. And you know what? If you don't perform for this football club, you don't get much chance. That's how it should be. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be forgiven. You shouldn't be, it shouldn't be absolute. Like just because you played well in your first season, you should be given chance after chance after chance. When he comes back into this Man United team, I believe he's going to come back in April. But when he comes back into this Manchester United team, you know what? He needs to perform. Not only him, other players need to perform. When Ahmed comes back at the end of April, he needs to perform. We need players to perform. We don't want no more sob stories. We don't want no more contract talk. We just want performances. That's what we want at the end of the day. And when it comes to the summer, then we can evaluate things. Then we can weigh it up and say, well, you know what? Is he right for the system? Is he good enough for Man United and stuff like that? But I'm obviously I'm a old school Man United fan. I don't believe we should sell young players. I believe we should give them chances at the end of the day, of course, but not as many as people think. Patrice Evra and Sir Alex Ferguson considered staying longer and changed his mind when the Glazers made it clear that he wouldn't back him overhauling the squad. Yeah. The problem with Patrice Evra, Almac, is that they were very rude to Patrice Evra. They were very rude to him and basically went to him in the dressing room and said, right, Evra, you're not going to be given a new contract. That was it. For a guy that won us the Champions League, that won endless league titles for Manchester United, I felt that was very disrespectful. But it's not the first time that these owners, Murtough and Woodward and the Glazers, have been disrespectful to legends. Look at David De Gea, for example. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely wrong uns, they are, a lot of them. You're right there, Sal. Pep, a bellhead Spanish full de letter, is a great coach, but not better than Fergie in his time. Absolutely. And as I said, Frank Rijkaard doesn't get the credit he deserves when it comes to that Barcelona team. And this is the Barcelona team that was highly classed as one of the greatest of all time. It was actually Frank Rijkaard who built that team. It wasn't Pep Guardiola. So now we got to look at this, right? You got to look at, so Pep Guardiola went to Man City. He went to Bayern Munich, then he went to Man City. And what did he do at Bayern Munich? He done okay. He won the league, but it wasn't anything special, guys, to be honest with you. But I would say that he's a good manager, a great manager, of course. But I don't think he's on that Fergie trajectory, if you know what I mean. I don't think he's on that. Absolutely not. Definitely not. Only the hatred for Man United would say that, of course. Sal, with Mount, Euro, Mainoo, Heaven, Maguire, and possibly Luke Shaw returning after the international break, do you believe that we have a higher chance of winning? Absolutely, Shah. Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, we are down to the bare bones when it comes to our squad. And I think that these players coming back can only help Man United at the end of the day. I believe that. It's brilliant that these players are coming back. Do you know what I mean? We've got Leon in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, win the semi-final, probably play Frankfurt or Lazio, probably play those teams. So I think Man United have a good chance. If they can get their players back, they have a good chance. But of course, knockout football is completely different. You never know what can happen in knockout football. Luck plays a huge part as well. Not only squad, luck, decisions from the referee, things like that. Do you know what I mean? You have to look at that, and it's a big part of it. Hopefully, Man United win this Europa League. I firmly believe Man United are going to win the Europa League. I think we will. I think we'll play Frankfurt in the final. I do, and I think Man United will win the Europa League. That's it. I think Frankfurt will knock out Spurs, definitely. GK knows what you know where I am, don't you, GK? You absolutely know it, of course. Tyborg, I am a bit surprised we never searched in the Balkans more. We had Vidic, and the Balkan players have more fighting mentality, and we should look for young players. Spot on, great comment, Tyborg. Absolutely, the Balkans. We don't look at it. We don't look at that enough. I absolutely agree. You look at Nemanja Vidic, for example, and how much did we buy Nemanja Vidic for? Was it 10, 15 million? At the end of the day, look, you know what? Especially in the Balkans, you would get good defenders. In certain parts of the world, you get like. For example, in Spain, you'll get good attackers. You know what I mean? In Italy and the Balkans, you'll get good defenders. In Scandinavia, you'll get a mixture of midfielders and strikers and defenders. But in the Balkans, you get those players who are willing to put their head where it hurts. Do you know what I mean? And absolutely, um, risk themselves to score a goal from a corner, for example. Do you know what I mean? That is what they are. You're absolutely spot on, Tyberg. You know what I mean? I don't think Man United have explored that area enough. I remember Man United purchasing a couple of players from there in the past. Obviously, Vidic was one of them. And Vidic was became a legend at Man United at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I would explore that avenue a lot more, guys. Absolutely would. I would. Because there are bargains out there. And there are players that would love to play for Man United. And there are players that will give their body to play for this football club at the end of the day. Absolutely. Shah. Sal, off topic, is there any sports you like other than football? I like boxing a little bit sometimes, but I think boxing has gone a little bit commercial. Sometimes I like the Cricket World Cup. I like cricket. The World Cup is pretty good. Other than that, no, not really. I watch the WWE, if anything. And those who know me know I got involved in the WWE a couple of times. Guys, absolutely. So I'll follow that, of course. That's about it. I don't really watch it other than football. I don't have time to watch other sports, to be honest with you, if I'm being real. I do keep up to date with, if there's a World Cup on in rugby, or there's like a World Cup in cricket and stuff like that. I do keep up to date with it, or the Olympics. I sometimes keep up to date with it, of course. But nothing solid, no. Shah, we do get a better chance, as you said. I see us getting better right now. Real threats are Frankfurt and Bilbao. I think, yeah, you're absolutely right there, Beef Bully. Frankfurt and Bilbao are the two teams I fear the most. I fear them more than Tottenham, to be honest. Even though Tottenham have been, I think we're going to beat Tottenham next time. I think it'll be third time lucky against the Tottenham in regards to that. But yeah, Frankfurt and Bilbao. The final's in Bilbao. But we're not going to play Bilbao in the final. We'll probably play Bilbao in the semi-final. I would much rather play Lazio, but let's see what happens. Almac, how good is a centre-back signed by Man City? His agent said he was supposed to be join United, but Eric Ten Hag vetoed the deal. We'll have to wait and see, Almac. What I do know is that what we have to be careful as Man United is that we have to stop leaking our transfers. Quenda, players like that, we have to stop leaking them. Now, I'm leaking some transfer news today. Like, don't be surprised if you see Man City or something like that, a team like that, talking about Kamada, talking about Liberali, talking about Sia, talking about all these players. Don't be surprised, okay, if they do, because at the end of the day, some of them do watch these channels and they're going to think, who is this Kamada he's talking about? And then they're going to look at him, isn't it, at the end of the day? You know what I mean? So I think Man United need to act quickly, and Man United need to stop leaking their information. I don't know about the veto of the deal. I don't know about Eric Ten Hag. I haven't heard that. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he must be a good player if he's gone to Man City, but we have to wait and see, because, you know what I mean? Let's see if he performs there. Of course, Man City sign a lot of players, don't they, at the end of the day? Vidic is 7 million for Sparta. Absolutely not wrong from Sparta. If I'm not wrong, yes, Sparta Moscow. Absolutely, Tyborg, brilliant player, brilliant. And I think we need to look at players like that in the future, Tyborg. Absolutely, we need to start looking at players like that, and we need to start scouting a little bit more effectively. Absolutely, 100%. That's what I would say. There is value in the market. That quote there about no value in the market is a complete lie. So I would say that we need to scout a lot more. We need to scout Scandinavia, the Balkans. You know what I mean? I think things are changing. South America, of course, things are changing slightly. But yeah, I would say that, we need to stop looking at the famous players, the ones that are glamorous and stuff, and start looking at players. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe did say that, didn't he? He said he wants to find the next Mbappe and stuff like that. But you can't just do that, of course. You do have to buy some experience as well, because you're not going to win things if you do that, of course. Big up, Tyborg. My legend, of course. East and North East Europe has top talents. Yep. Everywhere has talent. Yeah, everywhere. We just have to look. Cool show. Okay, big up everyone, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry about the backdrop and the shaking of the camera and all that. I am back in my usual surroundings later on today, but I want to thank everyone for joining me today. You absolute legends. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Keep your notifications on as well. I will be back later on, hopefully, and I will be doing a watch along tomorrow for England against Latvia as well. So don't forget that as well, guys. So. Please join me for that. And guys, don't forget, you know what? We're waiting for next week. And you know what? The Europa League, we're going to have some emotional times in the next few weeks, guys. Absolutely. There's going to be some emotional times. We've got the Europa League. Lyon's going to be a tough game. Of course, there's that player that everyone is talking about now. Of course, we know Zerki and stuff, Cherky, and that we know. But you know what? We've got our good players too. So let's not get over giddy with certain players from other clubs, and let's support our own, right? We've got the ability. We can do it at the end. We can do this, guys. Absolutely. Have a great day. Have a great evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace.